What it do, gang? Welcome back to the channel. So listen, guys, somebody told me that you was soft, bro, and that you like playing with soft little decks and stuff like that. I didn't say that. I would never call you soft, bro, but whoever said that, you gotta pick it up with them, not me. I mean, look, bro, this thing, they're not even all that cute. Like, look at this thing right here. This thing is on its back. You ever seen tigers fight, bro? Tigers, that's how they fight, on their back. That thing is just ready to mess you up. Don't play, bro. Anyways, for you guys today, I have Melffy with a little bit of soda, aka Melffy Sprite. It's just this, you could consider this a budget version of the Sprite Melffy deck that I showed you about 2 weeks ago, I believe it was. But this thing can do the things that deck does, and also you're playing more Melffy, which is extremely fun. I honestly, I never played this deck before, and I picked it up, and it's actually really fun. So with that being said, 42 cards. If you guys enjoy the content, please leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Enough talking, let's get into the replays. Also, we'll go over the deck list at the end of the video. Let's go. Alright, gang, so for the first replay, I got a replay against Tearlaments. I have a replay against Heroes, which is this one, and another against Numeron. I don't remember if I have another one, but they're all really good duels. So they show off the deck very well. So for this one, we are going first. So we're gonna start off by activating the Beaver. We're normal summoning and activating to get another Beaver. Then we're gonna put the red onto the field, right? And I know what you're thinking, you're just doing Sprite stuff. No, I'm not, bro, I am, but you're gonna see. So we're gonna go into the Gigantic Sprite, activate that thing's effect, get this thing out of here so I could bring a blue, activate the blue's effect, bring the jet onto the hand, activate the jet's effect. We're gonna bring the Sprite Gamma. At this point in time, I was messing with the deck, and I took out the other spell that's supposed to banish, but that's what this was supposed to be. I was actually like, what the heck? But we're gonna continue, right? We're gonna use both of these monsters to link off into the Sprite Elf, bring him out here, or her, I don't know if Elf, whatever. Then we're gonna bring the blue onto the field, use both of these monsters so we can link off into the IP Masquerena, right? We didn't really need to go into this thing, any one of our Melffy cards, because we have 2 Melffy cards in our hand. That's why I decided to go off with the Sprite stuff first. That way now I can get the Wally onto the field and I can get the Caddy onto the field. Like I said, that thing is just ready to mess you up. Don't play. So that's our board, right? So here our opponent's playing Heroes. They bring the Vion onto the field. I'm going to activate this thing's effect. Then I'm going to activate the Melffy Caddy. I honestly don't know too much about Heroes, but I'm like, maybe they send cards from here to the grave. I don't know. But we're going to get Forbidden Droplet. They're going to make us drink Jesus Tears right now. Sad times, right? Get it out here. So our 3 main monsters got negated. So now we're actually really just playing Melffy, bro. So I get to bring out the puppy onto the field. And again, another caddy, because we don't have all the monsters that we have them in the hand, right? So they're gonna send the malicious to the graveyard, activating the Shadow Mist in the graveyard, and I'm gonna activate the Melffy Penny. That way we could special summon it and then synchro summon right away into a Herald of Arc Light. I'm sorry. Bring that boy out here. Again, I'm trying to get their monsters banished. Again, I don't know how they work, but they're gonna activate this instant effect, banishing it themselves. And at this point, I started laughing. I'm like, I'm an idiot. We're gonna activate the puppy so I could bring out the Calantosa, which is a quick just pop a card on the field, right? Get that thing out of here. Again, I thought I was doing something. I was like, oh yeah, we stopped their play. We didn't do anything, bro. That thing gets popped. They're gonna activate the Denier, special summon that thing on the field, activate this thing's effect, right? Bring the malicious back onto the deck. Use both of these monsters so they can link off into a Predaplant, Verte, Anaconda. And here I thought they were panicking. I'm like, oh, look at this. Like, you going DPE? Okay, yeah, no. Herald of Arc Light, get it out of here. Because at this point, they're not sending anything. It's getting banished. I'm like, I might as well negate and destroy this thing. Because, you know, what else am I supposed to do? They're going to activate the malicious again, banishing that thing so they can special summon another malicious. Then they're going to get the Ferris onto the field. And I know that this thing is some saucy crackiness because of my boy JP Izzy. So I was actually shook right here. So then they activate that thing's effect, setting down a Vision Hero increase, getting rid of the Militia so they can special summon this thing, activating this thing's effect, bringing a Vion to the field, right? Then they're going to activate that thing's effect, banishing 1 card, bringing a Polymerization onto the hand. They're going to activate that thing's effect, they're gonna use all 3 of these monsters so they can fusion summon into the Vision Hero Trinity, right? Bring that thing out here. They're gonna activate that thing's effect. That thing gets an attack boost, double, and then it can attack 3 times, bro. That's wild. So now right here, without this thing, I'm actually happy that we got this thing, because without it, we would have been OTK'd right now. Like, done, bro. Good night. So you activate that thing's effect. We get a huge attack boost that's gonna allow us to survive. They're gonna pop the Elf, pop the IP Masquerena, pop the red on the field too. Get it all out of here. We're left with 1,900 damage, right? I mean life points. So here, before they do it, because they scooped, their whole hand is gone. They don't have anything else. I'm gonna tell you what I was gonna do and why it didn't matter whether they scooped or not, because we were playing chess, not checkers, right? So here, I was just gonna make a where's it at? Legitimately, I could have made any one of these. I was mainly gonna use these. Where's it at? This thing, right? We're gonna normal summon another thing, attack directly, and make a Zeus. Keep this thing on the field, so next turn when I bring it back, I could pop a card, whatever it is that I want to do. I can make the I could have made this thing right here, send whatever card they got on the field back into the hand, their normal summon. So regardless of anything, this duel was basically done. So they just scooped. Like, they knew it. They probably thought I was playing Sprite for real and also left. But either way, this duel showed you a bunch of interaction, how we use the Melffy cards, because we ended up relying on the Melffy cards and not all the extra Sprite stuff. So with that being said, let's go into the next replay. Alright gang, here we are for the second replay of the day. And this one was against, I believe it was against Tearlaments. And I believe we did more. I'm sorry about the field, bro. I legitimately was playing this deck. Yeah, sorry about the field, bro. I know you guys probably like it better when I make like the field look nice and everything and get an actual feel. But I picked this deck up and started playing, bro. I wasn't even thinking about it, right? So here we are gonna go first. We're gonna activate the Tri-Ray Carras, sending the Perro. I'm gonna say it in Spanish for you, bro. Perro Cerberus, right, onto the graveyard. Then we're gonna normal summon this thing, activate its effect. They're gonna activate the Havness, of course. What are they playing? Oh no, they're playing a regular card. So they hit 3 cards. They didn't really hit another Tearlament. They basically hit the Crimey, a Polymerization, and a Miller or Shuffler. So here we're gonna normal summon this thing, special summon the blue, right? Blue is gonna get us a carrot onto the hand. We're gonna special summon the carrot. We're gonna use both of these to go into the Sprite Elf, right? That thing's gonna activate its effect. We're gonna bring the Bieber back onto the field. No, we're not, because they're gonna activate the Keldo, sending all 3 of these cards back into the deck. So again, we're not gonna bring anything onto the field, so we have to use both of these monsters right here, so we could Exceed summon into the Melffy of the Forest, right? Activate that thing's effect. We're gonna detach the blue, so that way I get a caddy onto the hand. I told you that thing is just ready to mess you up. Then we're gonna use both of these right here to link off into the IP Masquerena. Then we're gonna go into the end phase, which is gonna allow us to special summon this thing. And I didn't even set this down because it didn't really matter. So then here they activate the Mudara, right? Sending another Mudara to the graveyard. I'm gonna activate this thing's effect to bring the carry back onto the field. They're gonna activate the effect of the Mudara that they just sent in there to bring all 3 of my Sprite monsters back into the deck. Here I'm gonna activate the IP Masquerena because I'm like, I don't want any other shenanigans going on. We already used the elf, so it's clipped. So we might as well just go into the Mech Knight, because Tearlaments has a hard time out in this thing, right? So all 3 cards get shuffled back into the deck. They're gonna special summon that thing, getting the Gravekeeper's Trap, right? And here I decided to not even wait. I'm like, let's get it, because I know they're gonna start doing stupidity. So I'm gonna activate the Melffy Caddy, bringing the Penny onto the hand, right? That way when they activate this thing's effect, I can activate the Penny. Penny's gonna special summon itself onto the field, and its effect, well, yeah, it's gonna let us synchro summon into the Hero of Arc Light. So now every monster sent to the graveyard is actually just gonna get banished. Get that thing out of here. Then they're gonna use both of these monsters right here so they can link off into the Dark Charmer Gloomy. And they activated that thing's effect, getting this thing the IP Masquerena. And I don't know, I've never seen Tears do something like that. I didn't know what type of sauciness they were about to do. So I decided to actually use this thing's effect and negate it and destroy it. You guys might be thinking that might have been done, but honestly, bro, I don't know why they would have actually done that. It just didn't make any sense to me, and I didn't want any craziness happening. So they get a Hobness onto the hand now, activating the polymerization. They're gonna use both of these monsters right here, so they can fusion summon into the Tearlaments Kid Kalos, right? You're gonna activate that thing's effect, activating the Sharon in the graveyard. So now they're gonna use both of these monsters right here to fusion summon into the Tearlaments Kalos, of course. Then they're gonna activate the Tearlaments Scream. Well, yeah, activate that thing, but they don't have anything else. They're going to the battle phase. They can't attack over this thing. Like, I'm telling you, they have a hard time against this thing. So they can't really do anything. They're gonna activate this thing's effect, activating the Mudara in the graveyard. That way they could bring all three of these cards back into their own deck. Which I don't know why, but okay. Doesn't make sense to me. So then they're gonna get this thing right here. We're gonna draw the Hop Ear Squadron, whatever. And then we're just gonna go into the battle phase. Again, we're gonna do 3,000 damage to them by slapping this thing in the face. And legitimately, I'm gonna speed this up because the rest of the duel is just they can't out this thing. Like legitimately, they can't really do much. They're gonna activate this thing's effects, sending the Tearlaments card to the graveyard. Then they're gonna set down an Agito, bro. Like just go home, bro. Go home and wipe down your tears with a napkin, bro. You lost. But nah, they gotta keep doing this. I'm gonna pop that thing in the face, get it out of here. They're gonna continue to pretend like they can do anything because they legitimately cannot out this thing whatsoever. They're gonna activate this thing's effect, sending this thing to the graveyard, getting an Agito, special summoning that thing, and they're gonna go home. Finally, go cry at home, bro. Wipe down your tears. I'll get the caddy to do it for you, bro. So with that being said, let's go into the next and final replay, which was against Numeron, and it was a really good duel. It was a really good one. Guys, here we are for the last replay of the day. And again, it's against Numeron. And I like this duel right here because it's going to showcase also how the Melffy deck functions really well too. This deck is extremely fun, bro. If you can't make the full sprite Melffy deck, make the Melffy sprite deck. Because this thing is still viable, bro. So we're going to normal summon the Rescue Cat because we need rescuing from this Max C, but we're going to still have to play through that. We're going to special summon the Melffy Wally and the Melffy Puppy, right? Because these are the main two that I want. And essentially, I'm going to try and teach you something, right? This is what you'll do. Even if you get Max C, don't do too much, bro. Just Exceed summon into the Joyish Melffy. And this thing is basically like a little bomb ready to explode for you to do plays. That's why I actually love this card. Really cool. So here they got a bunch of cards, whatever, right? They're going to activate the Terraforming. I'm going to activate this thing's effect, right? Which essentially is going to detach all of the materials from itself, send itself to the graveyard, and then you get to special summon the materials. So now both of these things are active, right? They're going to get the Numeron network onto the field, activating that thing's effect. That way they can send the Numeron Calling onto the graveyard, bringing the 4 Numeron Walls onto the field. I'm going to activate the Puppy, also activating the Melffy Wally, right? With the Melffy Wally, I'm going to bring the Caddy onto the field and another Puppy because I need a body, right? So Puppy going to come back to the hand. We're going to activate the Kalatosis right here. So that way we could pop the field spell, get that thing out of here, right? They're going to the battle phase regardless. They're going to destroy this thing right here. I'm going to activate the Melffy Caddy. That way I get the Penny, right? They're going to try and attack this thing. I'm going to special summon the Penny so I could use both of these monsters. So then I can synchro summon into the Melffys. And that thing is going to allow me to send one of these things back into the extra deck, right? While also sending myself back so I could bounce back the Melffy of the Forest onto the field. And they can't really attack over that thing right now. So then I'm going to try to attack this thing, do damage onto the self. Then I'm going to use all 3 of these monsters, which I already knew. They're going to go into the Infratrack Forest Megalapagos, right? Which this thing, if you can't make Exceed summons that can out this thing, you can't really do anything to that, right? So I'm like, okay, bet. We join to the Nimble Beaver. I'm going to special summon the Alpha, the Master of the Beast, right? Then we're going to use both of these monsters right here to link up into the Sprite Elf. Sprite Elf is going to activate its effect. That way I could bring the Puppy back onto the field. Normal summoning the Beaver so I could get another Beaver onto the field using both of these monsters. We're going to link up into the IP Masquerena, of course. And then we're gonna end our turn. That's gonna allow us to special summon our Caddy and special summon our Wally. They're gonna activate the Maxi. I don't know why they just didn't activate it earlier. It would have made sense, but either or. Second Maxi of the day. I told you yesterday, bro, or wherever you saw that video, I've been getting hit with double Maxis for the past like 3 days, bro. Either way, here they're gonna go into the battle phase, and before they even go into the battle phase, I'm like, yeah, checkmate. Mech Knight, Crusadia, Evermax. Bring him out here with the sword and shield, all of that. They're gonna activate the Monster Reborn, trying to bring the IP Masquerade onto their field, and I'm gonna Ghost Bell that thing. Get it out of here. Not today. So they're not reborning anything. They're actually pretty much dead. They're gonna sit down 2 cards and end their turn, right? They can't attack over this thing with this thing. Even though we could still make a Zeus, but why would I make a Zeus if I have my whole board on the field, right? So we're gonna use all 3 of these monsters to go into the Joyous Melffy, because this thing right here allow us to detach a material, and now with any Melffy card I can attack directly, especially itself, which if I attack directly I can make a Zeus, right? And then this thing right here is gonna allow us to negate a monster. We're gonna go into the battle phase. I attack directly like I said. They're gonna activate the Numeron wall. They already know that I can still make the Zeus. I still have the Evermax on the field. It doesn't even matter. Thank you for leaving, because it's like, bro, it's honestly done. It was honestly done. But with that being said, let's go into the deck list. Right, gang, here we are for the deck list portion of the video. So essentially, I did make a few changes that you might have seen in the video. Example, Ghost Bell. I had Ghost Bell in here, but essentially I took her out. I took her out and replaced her with the Ash Blossom, because we actually care about Maxi a lot, since we do special summon a lot with this deck. Like legitimately everything is special summoning, even at the end phase. Even if they just throw a Maxi randomly, they're gonna get about 2 to 3 cards at the end of the phase, depending on how many Melffy cards you got. I mean, it's also gonna depend on you, because you get to choose how many Melffy cards you're gonna special summon onto the field at the end of the turn anyways. But I digress. Here we got 2 Calantosas, Mystical Beasts of the Forest. If you special summon that thing with this thing from the graveyard, or special summon it any other way with a beast monster, you get to pop a card on the field, which is really good. You guys saw me use it. So we run 2 of these, because sometimes you might have it in the hand and you want to bring it from the deck out, right? Because you can't special summon it from the hand and stuff like that. We run 1 Valerifon Mist. Listen, bro, this is just Bambi at home, all right? It's just Bambi at home. That's all you need to know. Little deer right there. 1. We got Nimble Beaver. We run 3 of these. We run well, also let me explain. We run 3 of these because you can search this thing out with your Melffy cards as well. So we run 3 of it. Also, it's good to help you go into your sprite stuff, right? So we run 3 of those. We run 1 Hub Ear is Squadron. And you're probably thinking, what the heck is wrong with you, brother? What are you doing? So 2 reasons why this is here. You might end up with this thing on the field on the second turn, so you might be able to make it around the floor. Again, you can take this thing out because it's not like prominent. It's not a first turn thing, but it's still there. So you can make it around the floor that way. Also, if you have any other level 2 and stuff like that, any one of your Melffys on the field, and you don't want to use the penny, or you don't have the penny anymore, or don't have access to that, you could activate this thing's effect, special summon it, target one of your other level 2s, and still make the Hero of Arc Light. So that's why this thing is here. Also, it's a level 2, so it's good for your sprite little package, right? Then we run 2 Melffy Caddies, because I told you this thing is gangster. This thing will mess you up, and it's the main one that will allow you to go into the penny. So that's why we run 2 of it as well. We run 2 Melffy Puppies. This thing is going to allow you to special summon one of your Melffys from the it doesn't even have to be a Melffy. If I'm not mistaken, or if an opponent wants to talk about blah, you can return this card to the end, then special summon 1 level 2 or lower beast monster. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a Melffy. It's just any beast monster. It will allow you to special summon it, whether it's this thing, any one of them, as long as it's a beast, right? So that's why we run 2 of those. We run 2 Tri-Brigade Karas, 1 Sprite Blue. Again, this is a small sprite package. This is technically a budget version of Sprite Melffy, but this is Melffy Sprite. So we got 1 blue, 1 jet, 1 red, and 1 carrot, bro. Just 1 of each. We run 2 Melffy Wallies, because this thing right here is really good, because when you use it, you get to special summon any one of your Melffys onto the field, 2 of them at the same time, right? Also, yeah, that's pretty much it. And then we run 1 Melffy Spinning. If you want to run this at 2, because sometimes you're going to use it and send it to the yard, and then you could can't really bring it back unless you have this thing right here, but I only run one of those. So if you want to bump that up to 2, you can. We run 1 perro cor perros. I said in Spanish to you because that is in Spanish, I think. Either or. This is how you're gonna mainly go into this thing. Like if you already did all your special summoning and stuff like that, and you have a level 2 Earth Month to any one of them, and you could still normal summon that thing, you can make the Notoria Beast. This thing is getting support soon, and I'm happy about it. We gonna make a deck out of that thing. So yeah, that's why that's here. Then also this thing right here has another effect. If you take damage by battle or an opponent card effect while this card is in the graveyard, you can banish this card from the graveyard and target one card on the field and destroy it, which is really good, right? So then it can help you survive because essentially somebody attacks you and does damage to you, and they have another monster that they might be about to OTK. You activate this thing, pop that monster if it's not affected. So if it is affected. Then we run 2 Ash Blossoms, again because Maxi is not kind to us, we don't want it. So essentially that's why we have the 2 Ash Blossom. We run 3 Rescue Cat, you don't need 3. Again, this is more budget, so if you don't want to run 3, you can run whatever you have. If you only have 1 or 2, just, you know, put something else in there like D Maxi or anything like that, you know. Then we run the Alpha, the Master of the Beast. This thing is cracky sauciness in this deck because this thing is going to proc the effect of your Melffy cards just by itself. Because you're going to special summon it, return the Melffy back to the deck. That's going to trigger their effect and you can make plays, right? Also, it's a 3000 beat stick. And it can return your opponent's card back to the hand as well, which is really good. Then we run 2 Obedience... why can't I speak English, bro? 2 Obedience Schooled, right? And you could definitely you don't need it at 3. I like to play it at 3 because it makes it easier. This thing is your starter, but it will shut you up. Like it will shut down everything else. For example, it says if you control no monsters, special summon 3 level 2 or lower beast effect monsters with different names from your deck, but their effects are negated. Also, they are destroyed during the end phase. For the rest of the turn after this card resolves, you cannot special summon monsters except beast monsters. This is not a beast. This is not a beast. Most of these are not beasts except for your Melffy cards. So that's why I'm telling you that if you're gonna start off with this, then you're really just playing Melffy. And the good thing is that you can bring 3 of these things onto the field, right? Let's say 1, 2, or 3, whatever. You're gonna put them into this thing, the Joyous Melffy, and then on your opponent's turn, you're gonna activate this thing, return it to the deck. All 3 of them are gonna go into the graveyard. You're gonna special summon it, and now you're gonna play Melffy, right? So essentially, if you're gonna play this deck, make sure that if you're gonna use this, bring a puppy, bring a catty, and bring the Wally. Because when you activate this thing's effect right here and send them to the graveyard, you're gonna bring this, and this. This is gonna allow you to special summon this thing, so you gotta pop on the field. This is gonna allow you to go into either one of these, return a card back to the hand, or you know, Herald of Arclight, which is in a gate. And then this thing is gonna allow you to bring more Melffy cards onto the field, right? So that's my recommendation to you. That's why I was playing it, and that's how I was having fun. It was hilarious. So that's why you run 3 of those. Then we run 1 Melffy Hide and Seek. It's a continuous spell, so I really like it. It says the first time each beast monster you control will be destroyed by card effect, each turn it is not destroyed. You can target 3 beast monsters in your graveyard with different names, shuffle them into the deck, and draw 1 card. This is your recovery, because you can't really bring Melffy monsters back onto the field unless it's with the elf, and you only run 1 of those, right? So this is recovery, really good that you get to draw a card as well. I like it. Then you got 2 Call by the Graves, 1 Melffy Tag. So target 1 Melffy monster in your graveyard, special summon it. You can only activate 1 Melffy Tag per turn. So that's why I only run 1 anyways. You don't really need it all that much. Then we run 2 Sprite Gamma Burst, and this single spell is the main reason why I decided to put the Sprite package in here, because Melffy on itself is a grindy deck. This deck is legitimately built to grind, bro. And essentially, you don't want to be grinding in Master Duel nowadays. You want to get a W as quick as you can, because if you grind with your opponent is going to bother you with 1000 negates and popping cards on the field, and you don't want that. So that's why I decided to add 2 of these things in here, because they needed the damage boost. Especially when you get a bunch of Melffy on the field, right? You're going to activate this thing's effect to attack directly. And now you got a bunch of 1000, 1200, 2000 B sticks on the field that can attack directly. You can OTK. It's crazy. So then we have a Sprite Smasher. Again, you guys know what Sprite Smasher does, just in case you need to banish a card from the field, whatever, yada, yada, yada. Then we got 2 infinite impermanence, and then here is soul drain, because you know we don't like tears. So this is why this is here. We don't really need or care for the graveyard in this deck anyways, because we bring them out, we bring our monsters out of the graveyard. We don't activate anything in the graveyard. So that's why we run 2 of these. It doesn't bother us at all. So then we have 1 Hero of Arc Light. You know what this is in here. This is the counter to tears. Also, it's a negate. Then we have the Merry Melffys. This is a bounce back onto the field. Then you bounce it back, special summon 1 of these, which is really funny. Then you got a Notoria Beast. Again, which you can make with this thing and any one of your level 2 beast earth monsters. Well, specifically a tuner, actually, not any one of them, right? So essentially, actually, you're gonna use this thing to make that thing. So might want to bump that up to 2. But either way, 1 Burrow on the Floor. I told you can make Burrow on the Floor 2 different ways. So that's why this thing is in here. If you want to take it out, because it's kind of hard to go into it, you're not going to see it a lot, then do that. It's up to you, bro. Then we got 1 Sky Cavalry Centaura. And this thing is your Zeus maker, because it cannot be destroyed by battle. If your opponent has a monster that has higher attack than this thing, just slap yourself into it and make a Zeus. That's why it's in here. Then we got 1 Melffy of the Forest. This thing is this is what makes Melffy works, because you're gonna pack all of the Melffys into them. Let me make sure this is the one. These doesn't I want oh no, this is not the one. This is how you're gonna search out your Melffy cards. This is basically the same as this thing, but for Melffy. So this is this your Melffy searcher. Then this is the card that I really like, the Joyous Melffy. You're gonna pack all of the Melffys that you wanna pack in here, so then you can special summon them in your opponent's turn and then start doing Melffy stuff. So that's why this is in here. Also, it's gonna allow you to attack directly by detaching a material from it, which is really good. Then we got the Gigantic Sprite. Again, I actually didn't have this thing in here until recently. I just put it in because I bricked a little bit, and I was like, I could have went and got some Sprite stuff, but I couldn't because I didn't have this thing. So I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna run the small package, might as well add it in here. It makes sense, right? Then we got 1 Divine Arsenal AA Zeus, 1 IP Masquerena, 1 Asian Warrior's Oath, 1 Sprite Elf, 1 Nightmare Unicorn, 1 Magnite Crusadia Evermax, and 1 Tri-Brigade Sharai the Ominous Omen. I actually use this thing. It's really cool because all of these things are beast monsters. You can legitimately make this thing easily if you have all of these things in the graveyard, which if your opponent starts bodying your face, you're gonna have 4 beast monsters. You're gonna special or normal summon this thing, banish them, special summon this 3000 B6 that's gonna banish anything on the field. Get it out of here, which is really good. So that is the deck list. I hope I went over everything that you guys should know or would want to know. Again, it's basically a budget version of the other deck, but it plays differently and it's really fun. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the content. If you did, please leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.